last time we were able to go out on the Nautica Queen and have a delightful afternoon on the lake. It's the return of the Alan Cox Show Bud Light Cruise with MMS, calling it Captain Fun's Floating Fandango, because why not? A return to normalcy on a Saturday afternoon. We'll have some pops, we'll have some laughs, we'll have a good time. Matitude will spin for you. You have to win your way on. I'll be giving you details on a couple of ticket stops I'm going to be doing. So keep your ears peeled for those. You can try to win at WMMS.com. You can hit the contest tab there. Or get these passes right now. Be caller 10, be at least 21. And we'll see you on Saturday, August 26th for the cruise. Good luck, caller 10, 216-578-1007. Or 800-348-1007.
The radio program determined to shave Cleveland's ass.
No, save Cleveland's ass.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense. The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS.
A map. Right back here. See, I'm doing a circular motion with my arm here. I'll do wider, ever wider concentric circles. There we go. Well... I thought it was forced perspective. I didn't know we were going to actually touch tips there, but that's all right.
It's like that painting.
Watch the Alan Cox Show live stream where we touch tips.
Is that Michelangelo and Jesus, or who is it?
God creating Adam?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. If you are watching the live stream at AlanCoxShow.com, a doff of the cap to Blumwell Dockwafer, who's helping out today.
Doing a good job.
Thank you so much, sir or madam.
You know, we were nominated for a Cleveland Scene Best of.
I got a bone to pick with Cleveland Scene.
Let's hear it. Don't you mess up our words.
You start. Go ahead.
No.
You start.
No, I want to hear your bone. I'd rather hear your bone than just be like, hey, vote for me and Mary.
Okay, so Cleveland Scene does this. No, you absolutely should. I wasn't aware of this until you mentioned it yesterday, because I don't keep my ear to the ground. Somebody's always doing a best of Cleveland in this town, and I don't always see them pop up. But Cleveland Scene does this best of Cleveland. And the Alan Cox Show is usually nominated for Best Radio Show. Thank you. I don't ever mention these things, because if you enjoy the show, you'll nominate the program without us jamming it down your throat. And I don't know when they do the nominations. The
nominations are in July. I think the voting's all through August.
There you go. This is the state of radio right now, and I don't understand it, because it seems redundant, and it really is apples and oranges, okay? There is a best podcast category. Best local podcast. Of course, you'll find the Bill Squire Show in there. That's why I went on.
We won before.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So are there prizes? I mean, the Alan Cox Show has won many years in the past in this. So thank you to whoever votes, and they do an editor's choice sometimes. Blah, blah, blah. So in some respects, it is the usual suspects, right? So there's a best local podcast category. And I think each one of these categories has 5 nominees. So they've got like best college, best television anchor, best place to have a wedding, best Spanish restaurant. They really cover the gamut. And in their arts and entertainment people and places thing, that's where they get into local media. And so I go on to vote for the Bill Squire Show.
Thank you.
And as I'm going through, I get to the best radio show category. And so we are nominated. Rover's Morning Glory, obviously nominated. The Jen and Tim Show. No, I don't know what radio station they're on. I've heard of that show. And then the other 2 nominees are not radio shows. They're podcasts. So why are there 2? They couldn't find 2 other radio shows. They couldn't get
Jeremiah on there?
So I had to Google. So it's us, Rover, Jen and Tim, Trend Kill Radio, which I had to Google. It's like a weekly YouTube show. And then something called the RAP Radio, the RAP Radio Show, which again, not a radio show. I Googled that, and all that came up was Real 106.1, which is an actual radio station. So just from the SEO perspective, so best radio show is 3 radio shows and 2 podcasts, but there's a podcast category. So they couldn't find 2 other radio shows?
Trendkill Radio, I believe, is in the podcast category too. So they're double dipping.
So again, I don't know how this process happens over at Cleveland Scene. I've always gotten the suspicion that it's a combination of actual nominations and then stuff that the staff of Cleveland Scene is just into, and they throw them into a big barrel or whatever. But listen, if you're doing a podcast, God bless you. You are not doing a radio show.
Have you gone to Best Sports Talker?
That made me very happy because they have
Cody one of them?
He is. Cody Brown.
Shut up!
Yes. This is the one. He's got to win. He's got to win.
Oh, my God. Please.
Now, this I will absolutely, this I will implore our audience to vote for. So they have, so first I'm looking at best radio show and I'm confused because like I said, it's 3 radio shows and then 2 podcasts. Now again, these podcasts, they might be popular. I don't know, but they are not radio shows. If you're doing a podcast once a week, you are not doing what I do. So, and it's not your fault. Cleveland Scene, I don't know, they couldn't find 2 more radio shows.
Well, they also do this based off of nominations.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I think it's
before this comes out, people nominate, and if that particular, quote, podcast got enough nominations, I mean, then they're going to throw it on the bill.
Well, here's the thing, though, but this is what I'm saying. The people who do podcasts are begging people to, hey, go here, vote for us, blah, 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 and that's how you get in. But there's a podcast section. So why would best radio show be 3 local radio shows and 2 podcasts? That's what confused me. It doesn't make sense. Absolutely, podcast. I mean, whatever people are doing, great, but they're not radio shows. A lot of podcasts call themselves radio show. It ain't a radio show. If your thing flops, nothing bad happens to you, right? This thing flops. I got to pack my crap and move across the country. So it's just, but they know that. It's not even their fault. It was very confusing to me. I'm like, you can't convince me that the people of Cleveland only nominated 3 radio shows. So then I'm like, well, where are the sports shows? Well, then I find out. It has its own category, Best Sports Talker. And it's
Best Sports
Talker
show, but then there's the Best Sports Talker.
This is what confuses me. I don't understand it. Just put Best Radio Show should be talk show, sports show, whatever, right? Why are there 2 podcasts in Best Radio Show? And you said one of them is nominated in the podcast. Yeah. It's very confusing. But anyway, Best Sports Talker, which is inexplicably separate from Best Sports Show, because it would stand to reason if you like the show, you like the person doing the talking. But Cody Brown is one of the nominees for Best Sports Talker because of the Poundcake Sports Break. All the other ones are the local sports people that you know and love. But
oh my God!
Vote for Cody Brown as Best Sports Talker.
Who else is in there?
The regular sports people that are at other that do the.
Is Hammy in there? Can Cody beat out Hammy for this?
No.
Because he's not doing like sports talk.
Oh yes, he's a broadcast. Yeah,
okay. Right.
Someone sent me this last night, and I was like,
God, that's so funny.
Someone photoshopped this. It can't be real because I know we would have talked.
That's what I thought at first too. So I'm going through the thing because I'm like, well, I'll vote for the Bill Squire show, and then I come around the corner, Best Sports Talker, Cody Brown. So of course I voted for you for that.
That's awesome.
But like the other ones, they've been here a lot. Ken Carman, Rizzo, Anthony Lima, Dan Menigan. I don't know who that is, but absolutely vote for Cody Brown as best. I would love, because don't they do a big thing? They do a big party.
They do like a best of party where they're like the restaurants all bring their signature dish.
There you go.
And there's cocktails and candy and all
Right.
kinds of stuff. The parties are fun. It's a night of free stuff.
I haven't gone in many years,
I love free stuff.
But-
yeah, and guess what, Cody? If you win, you get to go to the party for free.
So listen, all of the other people in this category have been on the air in Cleveland for a while. As long as I've been, I'm pretty sure. I mean, Rizzo's been here for 100 years, right?
Want Cody to win.
I do
know.
too. We want to send Cody Brown.
Stop laughing at
holding the Cleveland scene. I want him there at that finals party,
Yes.
mingling and rubbing shoulders, holding
Because
the plaque for best sports talker.
They're gonna
This
ask
we
is what
tried
I
to get him nominated in the last year or the year before, and it didn't work. But this
No.
year he was nominated, and I am
I
so
want
excited about that.
nothing more than this. So,
This started.
vote for clevelandscene.com. You get in there. I don't know if you register or whatever, and
My dad will
vote
actually
for
be proud of
Cody as best sports talker. I really now, in all reality, given the competition here, I think it's very slim. But
No, I think it's very. we have a very big audience.
there's a lot. We do, but there's a lot of people to split the vote here. Is what I'm saying. A lot of spoilers.
Well, they can all split the vote between those other guys, and then little Cody Poundcake Brown comes running up the side here, and look, all of a sudden,
Listen.
I don't know when the voting is done or when
It's
they
usually
announce.
like a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
They usually give a couple weeks of voting before they go on.
I
so
wanna
we got to
go-
hit this on a regular basis.
I want to go into the fall announcing Poundcake Sport. When I intro the Poundcake Sports Break, I want to intro it as Cleveland Scene's best sports talker.
I need a new intro.
Or it could be.
The award-winning Poundcake Sports
Yes.
Break brought to you by things not even sponsored.
Oh my God.
It's a travesty that this thing isn't sponsored.
I love it.
But it's not. But nevertheless, I want to go into it with him having won that accolade from you, from the voters. This isn't Cleveland Scene, putting the sword on his shoulder. This is you at clevescene.com voting for our own Poundcake Cody Brown
Now,
in the best sports talker category.
hypothetical. Say I win. Could you imagine the people that have worked their entire lives?
That's why it's so
That's why
good.
it's so
That's why
funny.
it's so good.
They know sports in and out. They're, they have such a passionate drive for it. They know ins and outs of sports, and
And Cody's over here like Gabrielle Union's husband.
Yes.
I love it. I love it so much. So
This is what I want more than anything. Audience, I don't ask you for much. I barely ask you for your attention. But to get in there and vote for Cody Brown as best sports talker so that he can attend this party that we've all attended in years past,
It's a fun party.
some of us more recently than others.
they split the comedian category into men and women again. It goes
It's
back
like
and
every
forth.
other year
Yeah,
it's
they-
one category, and then every other year it's by gender. So I don't understand. But Bill's up for best male comedian. I'm up for best female comedian. Just to clarify, in case people were confused.
Right.
Appreciate that.
But God, I hope he wins.
But I want Poundcake to win.
So
That's the big
Cleve Scene, for people asking, clevescene, C-L-E-V-E, scene.com. Just Google Cleveland Scene. And
all those
again,
years.
I think you can skip categories if you don't have any.
one. Yeah, you don't have to vote
Well, there's
for every
right at the
single
top.
one.
It says best of, and then best of Cleveland ballot 2023. Cody, the reaction would be like how upset Alan is that there's podcast nominated. That's how these other sports talkers feel about you.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'm not
I actually think they would think it was hilarious.
I'm not upset. I was confused because I was like, there's no way you can tell me that there aren't 5 radio shows
Well, there's
in a
no
market
way.
of 30 plus 40 radio stations. There's no way they had to fill in 2 categories because there's a podcast category. Listen, it doesn't do anything for me whether we win or lose. What I'm saying is it was confusing to me because there's apples and oranges. This is not a podcast. This is a radio show that is podcast for people who want to listen to it later. But this is not a podcast.
Well, there might
So that's why it was confusing to me.
be podcasts that actually play on the radio, and that's
But there aren't. Now, there aren't podcasts that are airing on commercial radio. And if they were, that would be a radio show.
Okay.
A once a week 1 hour show is not the same as me doing 20 plus hours of content a week
For example,
and having to get ratings and generate revenue for a radio station. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was confused. It's nothing against the people who do those shows. God bless them. I mean, whatever you're doing, I hope you have fun doing it. But it's not a radio show. Now people are asking, why isn't the Codcast nominated? Mary's
Oh my God.
fishing podcast. Why isn't the Codpast
Listen,
nominated?
we've been working hard.
Yeah.
You know, swimming under the radar.
Yep.
If you find the.
Okay.
I'm having a stroke. Listen, we've been swimming under the radar, so nobody really thinks about it.
Did you
It
say
is-
swimming under the radar?
Yes, don't worry about
Yep,
what I said.
yep.
While we are incredibly popular, it is mostly amongst the fish communities. So,
Yes, but that's a very influential community.
but they don't have thumbs, so it makes them
Oh,
hard.
you meant actual fish.
Physical fish.
Oh, not
yes.
the fishing aficionados,
No,
if you will.
no.
The aficionados of fishing.
Right.
So anyway, I would very much like Poundcake to win Best Sports Talker in Cleveland Scenes. Best of
That would be so
Cleveland.
good.
You vote. It's because they break up by section, so they have like I don't know what the sections are, but this is in people and places. I know they have arts and entertainment. This is in people and places. Best Sports Talker, Cody Brown.
Yes.
At the top of the list, you don't have to scroll. He's at the top. He's 1 of 5. And I would love for him to win to be able to attend that party.
It was my dad's dying wish
Oh,
that I got.
shut
That I
Your
got
dad's alive.
Cleveland- I'm saying these are my competitors. Their dad's dying wish that they won Cleveland Scene's Best Sports Talker, and they
Yeah,
got beat out by
that's
a
right.
little fruit cake.
Well, don't jam this up for yourself.
I'm just kidding.
Take the W. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Al, how you doing?
What up?
Hate the show.
Thank you, sir.
Just wanted to comment. You have a good point, but the point is, over the years, there's no radio shows left. You know, a guy making jokes by himself and spinning tunes. That's not really a radio show, even though he's whatever. I can't even think of.
But that's my point, Bill.
Rover.
There are tons of radio shows. And you know that they're radio shows because they're on the radio. That's all
Bloom
I'm
Daddy's
saying.
a radio show.
What's
could have
that?
been- Bloom Daddy could have been nominated.
Right.
The Jeremiah
yes.
show's great.
Jeremiah. Like, why
Jeremiah,
aren't
yeah.
radio? There's 40 radio stations in the Cleveland media market. They pick
Right.
3 and go, well, we got to fill up the other 2 spots.
But
Doesn't make
you know,
sense.
not many people know Bloom Daddy. Hate to say it. Triv passed away.
Well, but I don't know how many people know. I'm just saying that's a radio show that probably has a sizable audience.
I've been listening to morning, afternoon radio for probably, 40 years.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, born, raised, and staying in Cleveland, obviously your show is the best.
Obviously, Bill. No, listen, radio listening is very habitual. That's a double-edged
Yeah.
sword, right? It's very habitual. But radio shows exist outside of drive time. Morning and afternoons, those are your prime time spots. But there are, every radio station
2
is going to
hours to
have
midnight.
half a dozen shows on, you're right, 2 hours to midnight, baby.
They could be nominated.
Could be,
Right, that
under
could be.
what, I don't know. But,
Radio show.
Al,
yes.
Al, I'm going to have to research this. And
You go.
when I'm watching the Guardians game tonight,
Yep.
I'm going to try to figure out how many shows are in quote, the Cleveland area.
Well,
Like,
you do
I
a
don't
deep
count
dive,
downtown.
Bill.
I will.
Okay.
And I will either call back or text the line and
Oh,
give
all
you
right.
give you my research.
Right. Thank you. All right. There's Bill. He's out there. He's doing his own research, as it were, quite literally. Anyway, clevescene.com is where you can vote currently for the 2023 Best of Cleveland. All we want is for you to vote our own Cody Brown as Best Sports Talker
Please.
to give the Poundcake Sports Break the recognition it deserves. Anybody else can do X's and O's. Anybody else can tell you, guess what? The Browns suck. Anybody can do that. Anybody can do, oh, the Guardians need some work. Anybody can do that. That's not what the Poundcake Sports Break is about.
Listening to
Gabrielle
somebody that
Union's
does
husband.
sports
We don't
talk
know what it is
90
about,
seconds.
but it's not about that.
He does 90 seconds of sports a week and he
I
wins
love
the
it.
award.
God, I hope so
It
much.
grew
That's
from
what
that.
I want for him.
Well, that was the idea too, was to get him into that space, because there's not a lot of gay guys talking about sports on the radio.
That we know of.
No,
That
that's
we
not
know,
what
yeah.
it was. Cody was bitching about people that he went to college with.
It's the sports power
Who
talk.
were
That's what it
doing,
was.
he was like, they do 2 minutes of doing a sports recap and they make $15. And we were all like, we will give you $15 to do a sports thing. And then
It
he
had
did.
nothing to do with him being gay.
No, and
it
then
was
he
a completely
Oh
different
no, we
take
wanted him
on
to do the gay
sports.
thing for right-wing radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was, well, I will, because all of us, I think I might have even said it first. I was like, I will give you $15. And then all of us, he ended up getting like $60 or something like that from us. And then it became a weekly thing. 'Cause
Anyway,
he
vote
was
for
crying.
him at clevescene.com.
He's crying about other people. They do work for 2 minutes.
There you go. That's right. Never count somebody else's money. Drive yourself nuts.
God, I love it.
All right, I got a break here. If you want to send a text, 35192, AlanCoxShow.com. You can watch, and we'll be back.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS.
And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app.